Welcome to our today's session. In this session, we are going to do some MCQ questions on mixtures. So before starting our session, if you are new to our channel, please subscribe to stay updated with our latest videos. And also, already I have discussed the calculation part on mixture. So the link is in the description box. So before discussion, you can pause the question and write your answers. Then you can check with it and you can listen to my discussion. We have almost 30 questions, but today we'll discuss about 50 and the remaining in the next session. So make sure to watch till the end. Now let's start. The first question is, what is a mixture? So when we talk about mixtures are matter that consist of two or more components and that is not chemically combined, and you can separate it by some physical methods. So now let's go through the answers. So according to our definition, the answer is answer number 4. Then the second question, which is an example for solid-solid homogeneous mixture? So you have learned that mixtures can be homogeneous or heterogeneous. So in the homogeneous mixture, you can't distinguish two separate components. So for example, if you consider a coffee, you couldn't separate coffee powder and the water solution separately. But in the heterogeneous mixture, we can distinguish two components one another. For example, when oil is mixed with water, here we can observe two separate layers of oil and water. Now we have an idea on these two mixtures. So now let's move on to our question. So the answer for this is answer 2. The next question is, molar fraction of water that is combined in a solution prepared by dissolving 40 gram of sodium hydroxide in 720 gram of water is. So here you are dissolving 40 gram of sodium hydroxide in 720 gram of water. Using this, you have to find the molar fraction. Now let's do this step by step. So you know mole fraction of water is equal to the amount of moles of water. It should be divided by amount of moles of water plus amount of moles of sodium hydroxide. And here you know the mass of two components. So using that, we should find the mole. So mole equal mass over molar mass. Using these two equations, you can find the mole. Then you have to substitute these to the equation number 1. Then the answer will be 40 over 41, the answer number 1. Then the next question, graphite, glucose and air examples respectively. So here the graphite is an element and glucose, that is we call C6H12O6, that is a compound, and when we consider air, that is a homogeneous mixture because you can't distinguish two components. Therefore the answer is answer number 2. Then the next question, a homogeneous liquid mixture is formed when a pure liquids of hexane and heptane mix each other. Iodine dissolves well in the hexane. So according to the above information, how does iodine dissolve in heptane? So this is a very simple question. They have said the heptane and hexane are homogeneous liquid, which means they both dissolve well. Then if iodine dissolve well in hexane, it too dissolve well in heptane. Therefore, the answer is answer number 1. Then the next question is, which is not a polar solvent? So you know there are two types of solvent, that is a polar solvent and a non-polar solvent. Here the main difference that you have to know is that polar solvents dissolve in polar compounds and non-polar solvent dissolve in non-polar compounds. So here the kerosene is a non-polar solvent. Therefore, the answer is answer number 3. Then the next is find the molar fraction of water of solution made by dissolving 2 moles of NaCl with 8 moles of water. So this is also a similar question as we did little earlier. So you know the equation of molar fraction. To that equation you have to directly substitute the moles. Then the answer will be 8/10, answer number 1. Then the next question is the cyclohexane is used to separate iodine from an aqueous solution of iodine using solvent extraction. Select the correct statement about this process. So here the iodine mixes well with cyclohexane. Therefore it gets separated from water. So the answer is answer number 1. Then the next question is the incorrect statement when preparing a solution of specific concentration. So let's see what are the factors that should be taken into consideration when preparing a solution. So all the equipment should be well cleaned. Then when you are weighing the solute, you should weigh it accurately. So transferring the substance into flasks which are sticking on the watch glass and the funnel should be washed well. Then you should use the correct technique for mixing, and final volume should be carefully adjusted. And also we should prevent the entry of impurities into the solution. So here the question is the incorrect statement. Therefore the answer number 3. Then the next question is separation of several components by distillation under controlled cooling condition is known as the fractional distillation. So here are some difference between the steam distillation and fractional distillation. So you can go through it. Then the next question. Choose the incorrect mixture. So now let's go through the answers. So in the first answer, salt and water, that is solid liquid homogeneous, that is correct. Then in the third, oil and water is liquid and that is heterogeneous, that is also correct. Then in the fourth, the sugar and the salt, that is solid heterogeneous. Then here the incorrect is CO2 and hot water, so that is gas liquid heterogeneous, not the homogeneous. Then the next question is example for organic non-polar solvent or solute. So that is hexane, carbon tetrachloride and benzene. Answer number 4. So far in this session we have discussed about 14 questions. I hope it was useful. So we'll discuss the remaining questions in the next session. Thank you everyone.